you doing? We've had 2 weeks Easter holiday. The weather was glorious. I hope you had a fantastic time. We're going to go back to the stone goblins and see how they're getting on. Hope you've been emailing your work in this week. Can't wait to see it all. Let's get stuck in. Chapter 5, Saggy Pant and Seepage. Damp Patch and Stain watched Carty in silence. She stood there patting, stroking and smelling the giant stone. Snilbog noticed she was mumbling something quietly to herself. She's so fab, he thought. My, Carty said, her eyes moving over the stone. What kind of fools would try to carry this here lump of rock? She crouched down and looked at the same toe that Stain had touched. She pulled it like an elastic band and let it go with a twang. This time the toe wiggled with more energy. I knows this toe. Don't I, saggy pants? She roared, leaning against the stone. Giving the toe a pat, she said, We'll have you two plunks out from under there in no time. Carty rummaged around in her cart and pulled out a selection of tools. She wedged a sticky thing, as she called it, under the stone and, to the amazement of the gathering crowd, she twisted, turned and lifted it with no more than a grunt. The stone rose up and rolled to the side with a dull thud. It had left a large crater. The stone tippers shuffled forward and peered in. No one spoke for a long time. Were they supposed to look like that? One goblin asked. Dribbledraws helped the groggy twins to their feet. Luckily, the ground was soft, which had certainly saved their lives, and 2 perfect twin prints were left where they had lain. It took the twins 5 minutes to stand up without any help, and then, shaking and dizzy, they gradually explained to everyone what had happened. We was thinking how good it would be to bring home this here stone, said Saggy Pant, but Sneezy here, pointing to his brother, had a nose dribble, and the next thing I knows, this great thing comes crashing down on me. He gave it a kick and then hopped around, howling with pain. Oh, you fibber, spluttered Seepage. There's me holding my end when Twinkletoes here bends down to pick up a daisy, if you please. There was a gasp from the other goblins. Oh, I never did, and you take that back, said Saggy Pant, his face turning pink. A white flower petal fluttered to the ground, and he covered it quickly with his foot. That's enough of that, you nitwits, said Snilbog. Be careful what you say. Here comes Chief Cheesy Feet. Everybody bowed their head and dropped to one knee. Damp Patch and Stain had never seen the chief before and weren't prepared for what they saw. Balancing on top a pile of stones and carried by a pair of stone bearers, Chief Cheesy Feet, a small goblin with an enormous nose, looked as if he would topple over at any moment, but he appeared quite comfortable and glared down at the twins as he waited for an explanation. Half an hour later, Saggy Pant and Seepage were acting out exactly how a wonky-beaked eagle, actually it was a moth, had attacked them just as they were about to catch a vicious bear, a mouse, for their tea. Chief Cheesy Feet was tapping his foot irritably. Cor, said a wide-eyed goblin, and we thought you gone and picked up a stone what was too big like. They did, you idiots, growled Chief Cheesy Feet. Now, let's all get back down the tunnel before a real wonky-beaked eagle comes flying past, looking for a mid-morning snack. Saggy Pant and Seepage leaned against the stone in relief, satisfied that they'd managed to avoid getting into too much trouble with their chief. But Carty was on her hands and knees inside the crater, carefully balancing the stone with her tipping tools, ready to start rolling it away. Now, with a creak and a dull thud, the stone rolled back onto the spot where the twins had been trapped. It was some moments before Dribbledraws said, anybody seen Carty? And that's chapter 5 done. I hope you have a fantastic week and a lovely weekend. Please, please, please don't forget to send your questions in for David Melling. He is ready and willing and waiting to give you some answers. See you next week. Bye.